science being so important to Maldives, I find being an Indian over here, a teacher, the demand for the marine science subject is being less and less. How can we encourage that with students all the time?
I think the government, of course, realized the importance of marine science. That is one reason why fisheries science was introduced in 1983 as a subject to the secondary schools. And then, of course, from this year, fisheries science will no longer be there, but marine science is still offered as a subject at secondary schools. What I have seen in some schools, what they do is they provide proper guidance to the parents about content of the syllabuses. When they are given the opportunity to select subjects, like in grade 8, students select subjects. So during this time, I have seen in some schools what they do is they provide the students with proper guidance about what is the content they will be studying if they choose this particular subject, marine science. So when this happens, we find a lot of students tend to select subjects that they themselves feel like doing or has interest in doing. I know a school where there was no marine science. They tried to introduce marine science by talking to the parents and the students to choose a subject like marine science by introducing the content to the students as well as parents. So after that introductory session, they were able to start a marine science class, full class in that school. And these are probably opportunities where the student become more aware of what they are going to learn in a subject like marine science. It's like once you become a marine science student, it doesn't mean you have to go and work on a fishing vessel. There are many other things that you could do after studying marine science. But that does not mean you stop your career at the O level and then you could become a researcher or you could become an expert in oceanographer. You need to continue studies in the field. Now, of course, you have colleges that's offering marine science courses that will help those who are completing marine science to continue their studies.
Thanks a lot, sir, for the
Welcome.
information.
I'm very informative lecture, and I have read and heard from some fishermen that the fish population in Maldives is declining. Is it true? Or if so, are there any sustainable working plans for this fishery?
Of course, the amount of bait that we are taking is increasing. Yes, maybe 10 years, 15 years back, we were taking much less bait. Today, if we look at the total amount of bait that we are taking, it is more because you have bigger boats. So the demand for bait is more now. So when you look at the total amount of bait that's taken from our reefs, it is largest reef fishery in Maldives, and it has increased over the years. But that does not directly mean there is declines in various regions. So sometimes you can have instances where there can be seasonal variation, so that you don't see bait in that particular atoll or in that part of the Maldives, but you have good bait fishing in other parts of the Maldives. So of course there is seasonal variation, there is variation over the years in different locations, but I would not say there is a total decline in the amount of bait because the amount of bait we are taking is per year, it's more now compared to previous years. Yes?
Also, you mentioned the size of the fish. Is it why is it declining? Is it because of overexploitation?
If we look at what is happening in the tuna fishery, the tuna does not stay in the Maldives. From the tagging experiments we did, we clearly see the tuna migrate across the Indian Ocean. So what we believe is, what is happening is, in the past, when there was less fishing activity in the whole Indian Ocean, we were able to catch bigger, larger skipjack, what we call goda. But now what is happening is, there are a lot of big vessels operating in the Indian Ocean. They are, I'm not saying they are operating in Maldivian EEZ, but they are operating in the Indian Ocean. Fishing activities have increased in the Indian Ocean, so the fish that's found in the Maldives, when they leave Maldives and go to other parts of the Indian Ocean, they are caught by these other vessels operating in the Indian Ocean. So they don't get the chance to come back to the Maldivian waters. So they go out, they are caught, so you don't get so many large tuna, skipjack tuna, coming into the Maldivian waters as they migrate in the Indian Ocean. So we believe that is the reason why we are not able to see large skipjack tuna like we saw in the past.
The tagging. Where can I find the data for the patterns of migration of tuna?
There are reports written about migration based on the data. If you look at IOTC websites, you will find reports. Or if you just write general tagging on the internet and search related to the Maldives, you will find reports on that.
Little tuna is endemic, right? Little tuna is endemic.
No.
No. There is no species of tuna which is endemic.
Little tuna is what we call latti or kawakawa. It is caught in other parts of the Indian Ocean as well. Same species.
Harvesting of air fish, why aren't we exploring them?
Harvesting.
Yes, breeding.
Breeding, okay, yes. Okay, aquaculture or breeding of bait fish, yes. We have tried to develop even bait fish as a separate fishery. We have talked to fishermen about developing bait fish as a separate fishery, so that like people who are targeting bait will catch bait, bring them, put them in cages, and the pole and line vessels will come and buy the bait from them and head out to sea looking for tuna. This is practiced in places like Japan. They have a separate bait fish fishery. So the bait is sitting in cages and you just go and buy bait from the people who are doing bait fish, and then you can quickly go and fish. The amount of bait that's available around our reefs is not that scarce now. So even without paying to these people who will keep this bait, the fishermen themselves can easily go and catch bait. So it has not come to that level where the bait fishery can be like promoted as a separate fishery. Maybe when that day comes, there will be more people interested in aquaculture of bait and also breeding of bait species, so that they can sell this bait to the then market, who will be buying it from them and heading to. Of course, that will save a lot of time, lot of effort by the fishermen who are like putting on lights and running generators for maybe 3-4 nights just to collect enough amount of bait. Doesn't.
Doesn't this tagging increase bacterial invasion or
You are referring to which tagging? The conventional tagging or the acoustic tagging or the satellite tagging? Huh? All of them. Huh? Yellowfin with big tags. Most of the time, it heals quite fast. Yes, so there is a very less chance that the fish will get infected and die, because most of the releases that we have done in the Maldives, we have been able to collect data from it, and the data that's recorded on these tags does not show that the fish died and sank to the bottom of the sea. The data recorded show that the fish was alive and it was moving. So we have not come across any experiences where bacterial infection has actually injured the tuna and killed it. So it's highly unlikely that the fish will be killed by putting that tag into the fish.
What can be the possible reason that they keep all the guts in the boat until the fishing is over?
When we spoke to the fishermen, they said when they put blood into the water, the tuna might not come to the boat. That's their belief. Again, it's just based on their practice and their belief that if they put the lot of blood and the guts into the water, the tuna around the boat may disperse. But in other parts of the world, to attract tuna schools, they are actually chopping small pieces of fish and throwing into the water where they are not using live bait. So this is just a practice by the Maldivian fishermen with the impression that it will disperse the school from the boat.
My question is, in your opinion, what should be the main reason for the aggressive behavior of sharks here?
Aggressive behavior of sharks? Yes, we have heard stories about the fishermen telling us and also others about sharks becoming more aggressive and biting the reef fish and also the fish pole and line catch. Maybe the sharks are learning that they are no longer like threatened or they are not targeted anymore. So maybe they are becoming more bold, so they tend to like take a bite out of the fish that's caught on the line. What we saw from the various footages that we took from the tuna school is that the sharks are swimming with the tuna, and the tuna are also not very scared to swim with the sharks. But when it is caught on the line, the tuna behaves differently. And then that's when the shark actually starts targeting them. So the shark knows this fish is behaving differently. It's injured or it's not like behaving normally. So then the shark rushes towards that fish. And they do take a bite out of some of the fish that's caught on the line.
What causes are there after oral effect?
What courses are there after you complete O-level? Yes, for a marine science student. Yes. It all depends on what field you want to proceed your higher studies. After completing O-level, there are colleges offering foundation courses. university here is also offering foundation courses. So even if you don't have A-level, if you are still interested in pursuing your career in marine-related field, you can join one of these foundation courses and then continue to take your degree related to marine science. If you look at the courses available, there is one course that's offered by the university here, Bachelor of Environment Management. That is after completing a foundation you can join. There's Villa College offering again courses in marine related fields. Once you complete those, and if you are interested in pursuing career further, you can also, like most of the courses that you do here in the Maldives are accepted by other universities. So if you are interested in doing masters, if you want to do a bachelor's degree in the Maldives and then continue masters outside, you can still continue down that field as well.
If you want to study aquaculture, which country would you recommend most other than Maldives?
It all depends on what species you are trying to study, because different universities are specialized in different things. If you are interested in aquaculture, that is a very important field that the Maldives is slowly opening into. There are a lot of possible environments where aquaculture could be successfully done. Maldives is not rushing into it is because we don't want to have negative environment impacts from aquaculture that may destroy our beautiful coral reefs. So we are very cautious about aquaculture activities. We want to make sure it doesn't have big negative impacts on our islands, on our coral reefs. Coming back to your question, there are universities offering aquaculture courses. If you are looking at close by universities, Malaysia is one place where they are offering aquaculture courses. There are universities in Malaysia offering aquaculture courses. There are universities in India that's offering aquaculture courses. If you're looking at universities further away from Maldives, Australia, UK, again, this all depends on what particular species you are interested in working.
In some fishes, we have to use a harpoon, and is there any specific part we have to influence the harpoon?
Okay, you are talking about the large yellowfin tuna fishery, yes? We are using gaffs and harpoons to make sure we don't lose the fish. When you are harpooning the fish or putting the gaff on the fish, they always target the head region because they don't want to damage the flesh. If the flesh is damaged, usually the buyers will not buy it. So it's the head or region or the softer part of the, like the underbelly of the fish.
We were taught that tuna dies if it stops moving. So how do you take a tuna before it dies?
Of course, tuna has to continuously move to get its oxygen. If it stops moving and stays in one place like the reef fish, some of the reef fish does, it will not be able to breathe, so it will die. When we are tagging the fish, the spaghetti tagging or the conventional tagging, it takes about 10 to 15 seconds. So during that time, of course, it doesn't die. Like you can hold your breath for some time, right? When we are doing the acoustic tagging or satellite tagging, what we do is we pump water through a hose through its mouth. So the gill is aerated. So you put a hose through its mouth with water flowing, yes, and then the water is continuously flowing across the gill so they can take oxygen from it.
regret from all this understanding marine science?
After you finish marine science O level,
Yeah.
what are the jobs you can get? O level is usually a course where you are getting just general education, yes? So after completing O level in any subject, not only marine science, if you look at physics, chemistry, biology, any science subject, you still need to do further studies to get a decent job, yes? But if you do marine science, just O level, you might not, like completing other subjects, you might not be able to get a decent job, but you may be able to join a research team and work as a research assistant or help them in collecting data. So you learn by doing things, you learn by experience. So once you have the basic knowledge, you add on experience to it. So just by doing O level in any subject, if you are trying to find a job, a title job, it will be very difficult. So completing mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology or commerce, I don't think you can get a job as such, yes? So even marine science, it's like that. You need to continue your studies, do a degree, do further studies, then you get what we call titled jobs, yes?
Is there any possibility that students can experience the researches done in Maldives maybe and as an intern after O level?
Yes, it is possible, yes. Because when we are going out to the field, we need people who can actually join us and help with collecting data. Yes, it is possible for students to join our field activity during their vacation.
When is it possible that marine science will be offered in A level?
Again, that's a question probably you should target the education ministry, yes. I think it will be good if marine science is offered at A level, because then you get a straight path to continue your studies from O level, A level, and of course to a degree. Probably at present it is not offered is because we have two boards, one CIE doing the O level and you have Edexcel doing the A levels. And marine science at A level is offered at Cambridge International Exams. That board is offering marine science at A level. But we are doing Edexcel A level and Cambridge O level. Just before we conclude, thank you very much for turning up even when the weather is not so great. Thank you very much, and I hope you have an idea into the Maldivian tuna fishery, and you realize that how much effort the fishermen are putting into catch the tuna that we take for granted, that we buy from the market and eat. Thank you.